Today's discussion is part 3 in the series, What I Wish All My Family and Friends Knew About What It's Like to Live with Chronic Illness. Hi everyone, I'm Amanda and this is Chronic Illness Candor, where we talk openly and honestly about what it's like to live with a chronic illness, both for the patients and for their loved ones. Disclaimer. I am not a therapist, I am not a medical professional, and I am not offering any medical advice. If you haven't watched parts 1 or 2 yet, I encourage you all to watch them, and I'll put the links for them in the description below. And now, on with part 3. Dear family and friends. In part 1, we covered numbers 1 through 4, and in part 2, we covered numbers 5 through 10. So today, we'll start with number 11, although these are not in any particular order. Number 11. I'm not a hypochondriac, but I may be a little bit mentally ill.
Allow me to explain.
I will start by saying that all of the symptoms that I'm experiencing are very real, even the ones that are invisible from the outside. I've questioned my own sanity many times, especially after having blood work results come back completely normal. And sadly, even after having been gaslighted by some of the health professionals that I consulted with in the past. However, the mental illness that I do have that I want to talk about today is depression. It often comes hand in hand with chronic illness. While depression can be a chronic illness in and of itself, it can also be one of the many symptoms of other chronic illnesses. Almost every time I go to a doctor's appointment, I'm given a patient health questionnaire to screen for depression. I'm asked to rate how often I'm bothered by certain things, including feeling tired, having little or no energy, and if I'm feeling bad about myself or feel that I've let myself and my family down. Well, yeah. How could I not feel that way when I've had to miss so many things? It's par for the course with the chronic illnesses I'm dealing with. And by acknowledging this, I am in no way making light of depression or any other mental illness. On the contrary, the point that I want to make is that mental illness is a big deal and should not be ignored. It can be a vicious cycle to fall into. The more pain and fatigue that I feel, the more I feel depressed. And the more I feel depressed, the more pain and fatigue that I feel. Now, I have been fortunate to have very supportive loved ones, and with the help of my loved ones, along with medication and 2 very cute little dogs, my depression is minimal and well controlled. But if you or a loved one are dealing with a chronic illness, please know that it is so important to address mental health issues along with physical health issues. And this leads me to my next point. Number 12. Support groups are awesome! I learned this very recently when a good friend of mine from my neighborhood started a support group for people who are dealing with autoimmune or neurological illness. It has been so amazing. We meet together once a month and discuss our challenges and things we found that have helped. We call our group Pain Pals. Being able to vent about my challenges is so therapeutic, and it has helped so much to talk with others who can empathize with my struggles and what it's like to deal with them on a daily basis. If you are suffering from a chronic illness or are a caregiver of someone who is, I highly recommend that you search out a support group in your area. Number 13. Insomnia and other sleep issues are a real problem. For me, this is another vicious cycle that I've fallen into. Pain from my fibromyalgia makes it really hard to relax enough to fall asleep and stay asleep. And at times I suffer from restless leg syndrome. Also, due to the side effects from all of the medications that I'm taking, mornings are incredibly difficult for me. Not just because I'm sleepy, but because I feel genuinely sick. And therefore, I end up in bed most mornings. And my circadian rhythm is just off. I usually start to feel like maybe I'm gonna live around 5 p.m. And then in a few hours, the cycle just starts all over again.
Will nothing end this vicious cycle?
I know many others who struggle in the opposite way, with mornings being their best time of day and in evenings they feel worse. Comment below Which time of day is best for you? Number 14, brain fog. It's a bummer. According to Google's AI overview, brain fog can feel like a mental haze or cloudiness, making it difficult to think clearly and focus. People experiencing brain fog may have trouble remembering things, finding the right words, or concentrating on tasks. It can also lead to feelings of fatigue, confusion, and mental exhaustion. Brain fog is pretty much my constant companion. I'll tell you more about it, but I forgot what I was going to say.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Number 15. If you ask me how I'm doing, I don't really know how to answer. I know it's just a common courteous greeting to say, "Hi, how are you?" I say it to people all the time, but when you say it to me, I'm not sure how to respond. I'm confronted with a choice. I can say, "Fine," or "Good, how are you?" which is usually what people say. But in my case, it wouldn't be honest, because usually I'm feeling pretty rotten. But I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. So how can I answer honestly without being a complainer? I usually get away with saying, "I'm okay." That works most of the time because I feel that I'm being pretty honest, because the word okay is left to interpretation. What I mean by that is, I'm not dead yet.
I'm not quite dead, sir.
But my favorite response is one that my husband Leaf taught me. It's absolutely genius. When someone asks him how he's doing, he says, "Unbelievable."
I'm unbelievable.
It's perfect. It sounds upbeat and positive, but it could literally mean anything. And if the person asks him what kind of unbelievable he is, he just says, "If I told you, you wouldn't believe me." It's such a great way to answer with a smile and complete candor. Well, several years ago, while I was contemplating the predicament of wanting to greet my husband when he came home from work with a smile, but also needing to somehow convey to him how I was actually feeling so that he would know what was needed, I came up with my color scale. I'm going to share my color scale with you now. It's kind of like the pain scale that they use at the doctor's office and the hospitals when they ask you to rate your pain on a scale from 1 to 10. But instead of just being about pain, it is all encompassing. It includes all of my symptoms, including fatigue, pain, brain fog, depression, etc. It's an overall well-being. So by assigning a color to how I'm feeling, it gives a pretty good snapshot of where I'm at. I'll show you how it works. Green is if I felt absolutely amazing. I would be able to do or participate in any kind of activity, and I would feel vibrant, energetic, and ready to tackle anything. I actually don't remember the last time I felt green. Maybe somewhere in my youth or childhood?
It's not easy being green.
Yellow is more average. Not really good, but not really bad. Orange is where the pain and fatigue shows up. As the intensity of the symptoms increase, I move into red, and then purple. If I get all the way to blue, then that means I'm in the hospital.
He says he's not dead. Well, he will be soon.
If I go past blue, then I'm dead. So I like to think of that as white. I've switched the colors around from time to time, and you can really change this up to be whatever works for you. I also refer to different shades of color, such as dark red or light purple. Most of the time I'm somewhere between orange and purple. Please comment below, what color are you today? If you find this video insightful or helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe, and please share this with your family and friends. I would love to hear from all of you. You can send me an email at the address in the description below, and please tell me, what things would you want all of your family and friends to know about what it's like to live with a chronic illness? Please join us next week for part 4, which will be the final video in this series, and then after that, I'll continue on with discussing many more topics. To any of you out there who are suffering with a chronic illness and do not feel that you have support from family or friends, please know you're not alone.